The Hon Kyle McGinn.
Thank you, Deputy President, and I am very happy to rise to talk to this motion today, and also give a bit of an update on the crowdfunding of the satellite to find to find Melissa Price and Rick Wilson in O'Connor and Durack. Not quite ready yet. Not quite ready yet. Unfortunately, they were planning to have NBN to connect to the satellite, but they don't have that because of Tony Abbott. So, look, the Honourable Wilson Tucker, thank you very much for bringing this to the chamber. It is worthy of discussion, but I do want to ask, have you written to the federal members in O'Connor and Durack about connectivity, about digital connectivity, about the NBN? Because the federal government have dropped the ball catastrophically in regional WA. They haven't given any thought into what happens in regional WA, and in your electorate you have two federal members that are missing in action, that have done nothing. Zero. Squelch in connectivity. Now, I write to members of the federal parliament when there's a federal issue. It's a federal issue, the honourable member. You should be lobbying these two missing in action members and pressing them to get the Prime Minister to show some respect to Western Australia and actually invest in regional WA. You know, you spoke about Victoria and ACT and where we sit with them on digital connectivity. Have a look at the geographical differences of Western Australia. That's great that we're on par with Victoria, but that is, in my view, above and beyond because of our geographical challenges that we face. We are facing far more harder circumstances than regional Victoria would be facing. You know for a fact that our electorate is 2.4 million square kilometres and goes all the way up to Kununurra. It is massive. And what we have at the moment is a total lack of any type of representation by the Liberals that are in them federal seats. They have done nothing. They do nothing in lobbying for digital connectivity. They don't even come out to the electorate. I can't remember the last time I actually seen them fire a shot. I really hope that the Liberal Party in Kalgoorlie can get that funds up and get that satellite working, because we need it. We really need a federal government that listens to what we're missing out on in the mining and pastoral electorate. That's right. But I am very proud to stand up and talk today. Obviously, I am also the Parliamentary Secretary for ICT and Innovation, and very proud of what the Minister, Minister Punch, has done in that space and launching the digital strategy. It is a space that I know he's very passionate about. I did attend a innovation forum with professors earlier this year, and they gave me some books for the old PP4 computer, I believe it was. It was like 1970 handbooks, and asked me to pass them on to the Minister, who I was a little bit like, oh yeah, I don't know if this is going to go down well, me giving him a book from 1970s, because it was actually the computer that Minister Punch had used back then. But listening to the professors talk about digital inclusion was really exciting, and the Minister has a real passion and drive in this space. And I also think that from what I've understood so far this year is Joondalup is a huge driver in digital, and particularly around digital security and scams and stuff like that. I think Joondalup is trying to position. Yeah, ECU, yeah, definitely. And also I think the local member, Emily Hamilton, is driving very hard on trying to get a bit of a hub set up there. And I think they're in a really good position to continue to push. And we talk about digital stuff as well. I do want to touch briefly on scams, you know, and where we are getting with that. I've had the pleasure of attending about 3 or 4 senior scam forums, and I can tell you now they've been well attended, and the people that have provided these speeches have been very, very good at what they do, particularly a man named David from, I think he was from UWA, who put in just a really great connection with seniors on how to be more secure. And what I found interesting was that one of the key reasons that seniors are vulnerable is they're far more polite than we are. That's my generation has grown up with short and sweet text messages, and to the point, whereas the senior generation grew up with signing off with yours sincerely, full name, address and everything, and that is exactly what a scammer wants. So when a senior goes and does that response, they're basically giving this hacker everything they want. which is really scary. But a big supporter of that, and I want a big mention to the Honourable Kim Beazley, who is a patron in that space and attends pretty much all them forums I went to. So we are doing a fair bit in that space. Now, moving out into the regions, really proud of the member for Kalgoorlie's grit. Ali Kent, who has worked hard with Minister McTiernan as a candidate to fight for a digital farming package out in Leonora. We went out to Leonora during the campaign. You've been out to Leonora, member?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so Leonora is pretty far out, and I would also suggest you start getting to some Indigenous communities and seeing some of the challenges that come with trying to establish digital connectivity. Now, one of the good things that has happened in regional WA is the CRCs that has internet access. So where there's a CRC, you can go in and access internet, which is making it easier for people in regional WA. I know the Wheat Belt has plenty of them, but there are some scattered throughout regional WA, and they go a long way. There is one, for example, out at Junjunjara. If you get a chance to go out to Junjunjara, I really recommend it. It's a really nice community. But you will see when you get out there the challenges that we are facing in respect of trying to improve that infrastructure. And that's why the digital farming program, I'm a huge fan of it. Because what it does is it's giving us the ability to do something that the private sector won't do. You know, the private sector sits on their hands, and this goes back, in my view, to the pathetic leadership of John Howard, who sold Telstra. Yeah, I hope you're smiling, because he sold Telstra, got rid of it. The only way he could cook his books was sell everything. And then we now have to deal with Telstra that sits back and goes, oh, just sell every asset. Why not? Just privatise everything. That's exactly what John Howard did. He just sold everything.
Order.
That's exactly what he did.
Order, members.
Sorry, Deputy.
Order, members. There's interjections coming from both sides of the chamber, and I just want to hear the Honourable Kyle McGinn.
Thank you, Deputy President. I know they don't like to hear history, but that is the truth right there. That is the truth right there. That's very accurate. He sold Telstra. What do you want me to say? He sold Telstra, and now we're dealing with private companies, and you shouldn't sell assets like that. It's disgraceful. To see that is disgraceful from your government. Disgraceful.
Order, members. Order, members. The interjections are continuing, and it would also be helpful if the Honourable Kyle McGinn doesn't invite them. The Honourable Kyle McGinn.
Thank you, Deputy President. I'll try my best, but the truth has to be told in this chamber, if anywhere. And I can tell you now that the honourable members on the other side, Deputy President, obviously don't understand what it's like to have to deal with selling all our private assets. So I want to touch on a couple more. Oh, mate, it's just
Order.
dribble. Sorry.
Continue the Honourable
Thank you,
Kyle McGinn.
Deputy President. But I want to also touch on, the Minister mentioned 5 projects this year that have been into community to improve connectivity, and there were a couple more that were also done in our electorate. Honourable Wilson Tucker, there were 2 in the Gascoyne, 14-mile camp, Warura Ningla Coastal Reserve, 3-mile camp in McLeod. We had the Kimberley, we got Carginia, and the Dampier Peninsula. That's really good that we have some connectivity that's in that. Sorry?
You've been to all of those communities?
Oh, have you, member? Oh, isn't it hilarious? It is hilarious that I hear from the Honourable Neil Thompson. The Honourable Neil Thompson, who is really close with Melissa Price, but can't seem to get hold of her because her phone's constantly engaged. Let's worry about that, hey, Honourable Member. Where's the Honourable Rick Wilson been? Haven't seen him in Kalgoorlie for 3 years. Now an election's coming up, he's going to come out doing these ones, try and throwing some cash around. What a disgrace. If you stand up for them members in the next federal election, you will be letting down regional Western Australia, because they have done nothing for regional Western Australia, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Absolutely ashamed of yourself. So telehealth has been another great space where we have seen, as the honourable member mentioned, a massive take-up in it since COVID come in, and I think that's great because telehealth has been really welcomed. Places like Kambalda, Coolgardie, Walloona, there's been some really good take, which I've been to, and I know some honourable members haven't been there because, you know, it's hard to get out of their comfy ivory tower up in Broome, isn't it? But also I want to mention the Honourable Martin Aldridge made a couple of good points on education and children screening. I think that is something that I also too fear. We don't know what is going on with children screening so much at a young age, and I think we'll see a lot of that into the future, and hopefully it's not as negative as what I fear. But thank you, members. Have a good day.